Hello and welcome to the training video for your Operation Christmas Child Processing Center. I am your host, Kit.Nicole. Today's video is all about how to prepare yourself and what to expect for the processing center when you arrive. What's up, guys? I'm just having fun. So essentially collection week is over and it's now processing time. So if you don't know what the processing center is for, that's where all these wonderful shoe boxes get inspected just to make sure they are able to clear customs and to make sure that every child is getting a wonderfully full, love-filled gift. So purpose of this video is if you've never been to a processing center before and you're just going for the first time, awesome. Here's how to mentally prepare yourself on what to expect. If you search YouTube, you can even go back in my own channel like for December of last year, or even some of the other wonderful YouTubers around. They all have processing center videos. To be honest, I don't know how to explain it. I just need to mentally prepare myself for my own processing shift, and I've only been there once. So here's how I would like to mentally prepare other first-time volunteer processors. So essentially, when you get to your center, first thing that's going to do is you have to turn in your volunteer form and make sure it's sent out. If you forgot to print it off, there should be some when you come in for you to quickly fill out. Depending on how your center is set up, there could be coat racks for you to hang up your coat, either when you come in or after you're checked in for volunteering. Some might even have lockers for you to like store your lunches or whatever if you so choose to bring it. And then you'll be queued up in a line. Volunteer coordinator will direct people. Most of the volunteers will be inspecting the shoe boxes, which is the focus of today's video. I haven't done any of the other shifts, which include gifts in kind, shoebox hospital, or what's the last one? Oh yeah, the inappropriate items one. I haven't done any of those, so I can't go into what to expect for those. Again, if you follow some of the other shoeboxing YouTubers, they have videos that can explain a little bit more and actually show you what you're seeing when you get there. So as you're coming to the processing center, I highly recommend dress in layers. It's a giant warehouse, so it can get a little chilly, but you're also moving around a lot, so you might actually get warm. If you feel like you need to remove a layer, that's okay. There should be a tub underneath the table for everyone to like put their sweaters and such. I also recommend, now I didn't prep it here, but I also recommend bring a tumbler or a water bottle because you're moving quick and you will get thirsty. If you forget though, there should be water available. And because you do get a break partway through your shift, there is also catering available as well. So if you don't feel like bringing like a little lunch with you, you can also purchase some on your break time or after. There's room for that. Another thing I might recommend is maybe stop by the hardware store and pick up some disposable earplugs. Some processing centers, they ring a cowbell every time a carton is filled up with inspected shoe boxes. That can get quite loud and you're there for like 3 to 4 hours, so it could start to bother your ears. So I kind of highly recommend to take some along. And if you're traveling and you're aware that your travel buddies might snore, those will also come in handy. I'm looking at my boyfriend. But anyways, when you get to your processing table, there are 4 stations kind of along the table. So this is what we're kind of going to go about today. So position 1, the first position. Carton comes off the conveyor belt and you are going to be unloading boxes from the conveyor belt. Now, that's not all you do. Essentially, you are the one that's going to take the rubber band off, and what you're going to do here is when you open up your box, you're going to check inside for an envelope. Now, With envelopes, a lot of people put their donations in on top. So we have to remove it, and they'll be going into a slot in the middle of your table. And this is so that the accounting department can keep track of all the donations, send out the appropriate receipts, and to verify that they have received enough donations for shipping to cover all the boxes. But that's not the only thing you're looking for. Sometimes there's loose cash. They're not always put in envelopes, so it's good to check for that. Sometimes there are gift card envelopes like this. What you have to do is you do need to inspect these. So sometimes they'll be loose, which is great because we actually have to check inside. Sometimes remove the card, check just to make sure that there's no cash in there. Then we can put it back in the box. Now, if there are people that will seal the envelopes, now sometimes they're lightly sealed, so you can open them nicely. It doesn't look like anything's happened to the envelope. If the envelope gets damaged, though, in the process of opening, it is all right for you to just remove the card, and you'll have a little trash bin underneath the table that you can dispose of the wrecked envelope. The reason why you don't want to put the wrecked envelope inside, even though it's got like nice writing like this one that says God loves you, is you don't want it to look rifled through. So that's just a little quick tip. Now, you do have the rubber band in hand, so what you can do is you can tuck it nicely in an empty space, and you will take your box and pass it on to the next person. Some boxes that you'll see come through, some of them will be taped shut, and that's because they might not have had a rubber band. In this case, there are scissors, so you can carefully cut the tape. Otherwise, another thing to watch out for is boxes that don't have the labels on them. So for the first person at the station, when you're checking for envelopes, something to watch out for is sometimes the envelope is still connected to the brochure. Open up the brochure, take a look inside. There might be a label pre-marked, they just didn't have a way to attach it on. Or if there is no label, we're going to have to add one. So as the first person, there will be some rolls of sticky labels right close to you, so you can pull one off for the gender, either boy or girl, put it on nice and quick. The next thing you should do is if say the second person is kind of backed up on inspecting boxes, you could do a quick pre-inspection while you're checking for envelopes and such. And with this pre-inspection, what you'll do is quickly evaluate the box to see if what possible age that they were planning for. Also, if it was a boy or girl they were planning for. So looking inside this box here, we've got a frog, got a Lego set, let's see, got some dark socks. So it looks like this is for a boy. Now we know which gender it is for. We have to decide what the age group is, and this can be tricky because sometimes there's a range of items that people tend to pack in boxes. So looking in this particular box, so we've got a plushie Lego set. Right on top here is a math kit. So math kit, I'm going to think right away, this is for a boy 10 to 14. But as I look a little bit closer, there is a set of flashcards, so very basic flashcards. And on top of that, there is a set of socks. Now these socks look that they'd be pretty small for a 10 to 14-year-old boy. These are a size 9 to 2. So I would think that this is more for a boy 5 to 9. So after we're done that quick pre-inspection, we'll kind of close the box, put our label on, check off the age group. Yeah, there we go. Put our label on, we'll check off the age group, and then we'll pass it on to our second person. Now, as a second person, your job is to thoroughly inspect the shoe boxes that are passed along. So what you're going to do is you'll open up the box and you're going to take a even more thorough look around. Let's see, there's the rubber bands that the first person tucked inside. We've got quite an array of items here, so what you're looking for is anything that is deemed inappropriate. And you don't have to worry about remembering these. You will have a little cheat sheet right on your station. So the things you want to watch out for are breakable items, so things like glass, maybe some porcelain type items, anything that, or sometimes even really cheap plastic, something that'll look like it's gonna could break in transit. Because these boxes are going to get shoved into a carton with a bunch of other boxes. These cartons are going to go on a truck or a plane or a boat. Things are going to get jostled around, and plus the rest of the journey to the destination child. So you're going to look for anything that's breakable. Next, you're going to look for anything that's liquid. Now, pretty much the only things that are, depending on your sending country, the only liquid items that can be sent are things like glow sticks. Check with your sending country though. For Canada, US, glow sticks tend to be fine because they are very thick plastic around, and if they kind of get jostled and break, the liquid is still going to be contained. The other thing is some rulers will have a little level. Those have a bit of liquid in them, but it's such a small amount that they deem that even if that breaks, it's not going to damage the box. Another thing is like liquid highlighters. Those are also fine too. But things to watch out for: liquid glue, liquid lip gloss, things like that, snow globes, because those are full of liquid, and quick inspection of this box here. Even little shooter games like this, unfortunately, we have to remove them. Part of it is due to customs. Another part is if it breaks, it can ruin a box. So what happens is when we remove these, we see how much room is in the box. This one, yeah, there's like some little gaps. So rule of thumb is when you remove something, you're going to want to replace it with something out of the filler bins. So in the middle of your station, right after the little envelope slot, there's going to be 3 bins of filler. And why 3? Because there's an assortment of stuff. So have a quick run through. Maybe you've seen something before. Continue your inspection. See maybe things like, are there hygiene items in this box? Are there school supplies in this box? Depending if one or the other is lacking, you can include those in. If it looks like this is a more needs-based box, instead of you can add in some more fun items, things like that. But here, let's see, quick run through, and you are allowed to remove stuff from the box temporarily, and just to allow yourself to peek through and see. All right, so we got some school supplies. Let's see, we also got some hygiene items in here. Good. All right, so let's see. Quickly establish everything that was in the box. Good. Alright, so because we've taken something out, we can add something in. So my filler tub found some Play-Doh. Let's see, there we go. That adds in on the side nice. And let's see what else we got here. So we can also add a little top. And maybe a whistle. There we go. So that looks like that. Definitely looks like a nice full box. So Once that's done, don't forget your rubber band also does count as filler too. Once that's done, we're going to close it up and then pass it along to the third person. Now, a couple other things you're going to want to watch out for is anything that's scary, and this can vary between age group or just something scary in general. Anything that's scary, anything that's war related, because some of these boxes do go to sensitive areas, and anything that looks used or pre-loved, or maybe it's like a craft made out of recycled materials, things like that. Anything like knives or saws, those also have to be removed from their boxes just because of issues with customs and because of some of the sensitive areas that these boxes go to. Those items you're going to want to remove, and you'll be putting it in a designated bin underneath your table that says inappropriate items. These will get taken to the inappropriate item station, where they'll be sorted just to see if there's anything that could actually be redonated, or maybe some things just need to go to the trash. But there's someone else to decide it. You can just focus on packing your box. Now, if you have any questions, you're like, you know what, I'm not quite sure what to pack in or what's okay, you can ask your table lead. They'll be supervising. They'll be able to say yes, no. If they're not sure, they'll go ask their manager just to get a more proper yes or no. Some people will go to the OCC website. They'll have the Can This Go in My Box page queued up. They can quickly type in the search bar. It'll say yes, no. If it comes up yellow, ask questions, then you can redirect to your team lead. Now, one situation you might come across is you might get an overstuffed box. So sometimes there are boxes that are taped up a little extra. Sometimes you can't, no matter how much you try to squish it upon repacking, it's just super bulgy and it could actually make it difficult in packing in the carton. When this happens, you can actually request the box be taken to the Shoebox hospital. At the Shoebox hospital, what they will do is they will actually have a stash of bigger boxes, and they will take this gift. Now, this is actually a jacket, a very much loved box here. They will take this, they will repack it into a bigger box, just to make sure it fits nicely, and then it'll go into a carton. Now, some boxes you will come across are damaged, some with with tears. If it's a plastic box, maybe it's cracked. So same thing, those boxes, after you're done inspecting them, can be redirected to the Shoebox hospital. You'll just have to give it to your table lead, and they'll pass it along. Now, one last thing to watch out for is food-related items. So sometimes people packing the shoe boxes, they didn't read the pamphlet through all the way, or maybe they just haven't kept up to date, or maybe the person explaining it forgot to mention this part, but due to customs regulations, food has to be removed from the shoe boxes. So things like chocolate, hard candy. I think last year one of the other YouTubers found some packs of instant noodles, so things like that, they will have to be removed from the shoebox. But again, look through your filler bin, see if there's anything that you can put inside the box to replace what you took out, and there we go. Another thing that you have to watch out for, or another common thing that you'll see coming up, is half-filled boxes. So these are boxes that just need a little more love. Everyone has a different view of what full is. So if you're a seasoned packer and you've been packing for a long time, and you're like me, where you overstuff your boxes, you're gonna see a lot of boxes that just feel so empty to you, even though they're about like 80% full. Depending on the amount of filler that you have available during your shift, if it's about 50% full, you're going to want to add a little bit more. Some cases, especially if filler's a bit more scarce that day, an 80% full box might be just enough. Either way, the child receiving it, they're going to be happy that they've got it. Other boxes you might get, it might just be one item in there, like a really big plush or a pair of shoes. Those ones, try to do your best job, go through the filler bins, see what you can put inside. One thing to note, if you're starting to run low on filler, try to avoid stealing from the processing table behind you, even if there's no one there. They want to keep those filler bins full just to make sure it's fair for the next shift that's coming in. So if you are running low on filler, just get the attention of your table lead. They'll try to keep on top of it, but just say, hey, we need more filler. Or sometimes you can make special requests like, hey, can we get like some more plush? They'll speak kindly to the gifts in kind group, and they might be able to hook them up with your special requests. Again, if you ask nicely. Once you're done all that, you're going to take your box and pass it on to the third person. Now, if you're the third person at the table, you have the fun job of taping up the box. So you just want to make sure you're putting that tape right in the middle. Just because the labels are on the end. And also, if you put two things of tape, even if you're like this little stuff box, it does actually add to the cost. So make sure you're doing keep it nice and tight as you're taping, just to make sure it's fully sealed. Now, tape does serve a twofold purpose. So the first is making sure this box is going to be sealed and not spilling its guts all over in transit. And also it signifies to customs that this is inspected and should meet customs regulations. If it doesn't meet customs regulations, it could cause a whole shipment of shoe boxes to be held up until everything is cleared. And sometimes they may have to go in and check every single box there, and we want to save everyone's time here. So that's the reason, very big reason why the processing centers are so important here. But once your job's done, you're going to pass it on to the next person. So as the fourth person, you have the fun job of taking these inspected and taped up shoe boxes, and you're going to pack them into the cartons. Now there's going to be 6, and there's usually one person on either side. So one will be sorting into 3 boy boxes, so again 2 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, and the other will be sorting into the similar girl boxes. If your tape person passes on a box of the other one, there's usually a little gap that you can slide it over to your counterpart on the other side of the table. Now, as a fourth person, one of the things that you're going to be watching for, especially if you're in Canada, because it just went live this year, is you're going to be looking for QR codes. So there are tracking labels that's now available. You'll see these taped up on front of the shoebox. So with the tracking labels is you will have a device in your hand. You'll be able to scan the label, scan the box, the carton that it went into, and then it'll go in the system, and the person that packed the box, they will receive a notification around the time that the shoe boxes are being delivered from the receiving countries. So they'll be able to see where their box is going, and they can pray a little more specifically for the child that is receiving it. So keep an eye out for this. I'm looking forward to seeing how many tracking labels are available this year on this year's shoe boxes. So once the shoebox is in its carton, once the carton is full, like I mentioned earlier, some processing centers, they'll be ringing a cowbell once the carton is full. If you're able to, you will have to pick up the carton, move it to another conveyor belt, and it'll be shipped or moved over to a different part of the warehouse, where it'll be set up to be loaded onto a truck, to be put on a ship or a plane, depending on where your processing center is in the country. And then the shoebox will be off on it to continue the rest of its journey. So lastly, and maybe I should have said this first, but best way to mentally prepare yourself, especially if you're a seasoned packer, sometimes we can get so engrossed in our own boxes that we kind of forget that other people have their own styles of packing. So my, I guess, best tip is when you come in, leave your ego at the door, or better yet, maybe kick it to the curb. Yes, I'm wearing my pajama pants while I'm filming this. And that's because everyone has a different style of packing. Everyone has a different perspective on what is full, what is fun. So don't feel upset concerning some boxes that you see, because sometimes you'll see maybe a previously loved plush put inside, or something that's a little bit dirty. Someone thought that they were giving a good gift. We shouldn't really judge them for that. All we can do is be grateful for the opportunity to catch it before it goes to a child, and be grateful for all the filler that's being donated, and we have a way to replace it. And also, sometimes those items are able to be redonated to someone else, like they're able to get fixed up, cleaned up, and they can be loved by someone else. So that being said, don't get worked up over boxes that need a little bit more love. Just celebrate the fact that you are able to give a box a little more love, and that, you know what, essentially God set this up by design, that to have this processing step put in place so that a child can feel his love. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. I know this video was probably a little bit on the long side, but enjoy your time at the processing center. If you have any other tips, please leave a comment below on what people can expect at the processing center, how to mentally prepare themselves. I think I covered a good amount, but again, hey, we're all on the same team, so feel free to share what you got below. Anyways, stay tuned. I do have my processing center shifts in December, and my fine assistant will be joining me this time around, so we should be able to get you some good footage and content for that. So stay tuned, but don't forget to pray for your boxes. Pray before you go. Can't forget that piece of advice too, but continue to pray for the boxes. And you know what, if you're into packing year round, maybe start keeping an eye out for sales around this time of year. So but don't forget to love on the people that you have close to you, and you know what, have yourselves a good day, stay blessed, and happy shoeboxing. Bye.